Nearly a quarter of Broward County single-family home inventory has vanished compared to last year, and homes are suddenly selling 30% faster than they were just 1 month ago. And if you thought that this was a slow, sluggish market where buyers are holding all of the cards, you are looking at the wrong data. What's up, everybody? Jake Fletcher here, real estate advisor and team lead at the Fletcher Group with eXp Realty. And every single month, I harvest like fresh apples in an orchard, the freshest MLS data the moment that it drops, no fluff, no spin, so that I can tell you guys exactly what's happening in the Miami-Dade and South Florida housing market, and Broward housing market, straight from the data. So if you appreciate that, make sure to hit the like button, the subscribe button, ring the notification bell so that you guys never miss these important updates. Today, we're shifting our focus to Broward County, single-family homes for the spring of 2026 selling season, specifically looking at the April data. We're going to talk about a massive squeeze on the active supply, a huge leap in market speed, and why the median price has seemingly built a concrete floor at $600,000. We're currently sitting smack dab in the middle of a perfectly balanced market, and I'm going to show you exactly how to navigate it to get the best deal possible for yourself and for your family. So let's go ahead and look at the numbers. Let's kick things off with the pipeline. Coming in first, sales. We got 1,126 sales last month. That's down nominally from 1,131 in March, just a 5-home difference, but we're actually 2.5% over year from last April's 1,099 sales. So similar to what we're seeing in the single-family home market down in Miami-Dade, the Broward single-family home market is showing some real underlying strength. We aren't seeing record-breaking pandemic-era, breakout numbers or anything like that, but there is definitely a strong, consistent demand pushing through what many perceive to be a slow market, okay? People are still moving, people are still buying, but here is where the pipeline gets tight. New listings came in at 1,815. That's down from 1,845 in March, and more importantly, it's down a highly significant 13.9% year over year from 2,109 listings. So 2,109 to 1,815, okay? So, that's what we saw. 2,109 is what we saw last April. So think about what this means. Sales are up compared to last year, but new listings are down almost 14%. Sellers are holding back, whether they're just locked into low interest rates or just waiting to see where the economy goes. They aren't bringing fresh inventory to the market fast enough to supply or satisfy the current buyer demand. So what does a tightening pipeline do to overall choices available to buyers? Well, it crushes the active supply, okay? And many of you may have taken, economics 101 and are familiar what happens when you have, tightening supply and high demand, okay? Prices tend to go in one direction. I will leave it up to you to interpret that. The direction is up. Okay, so our active supply in Broward is down to 5,389 listings. That's a 5.4% reduction month over month. But the number that you need to pay attention to is the year over year drop, okay? We are down a massive 23.0% from almost 7,000 listings last April. So nearly a quarter of the active single-family inventory in Broward County has essentially vanished compared to this time last year. That is a massive cut, okay? Despite that massive supply cut, look at our months of inventory. We're sitting at exactly 5 months of inventory for the second month in a row, okay? Last April, we were at 6 months. Now, why does this specific number matter to you, okay? Well, in real estate, anything over 7 months of inventory, 7 months or over rather, is a buyer's market, meaning that buyers have the leverage. Anything between 1 to 3 months of inventory is a seller's market, meaning sellers have the leverage, where, that's usually where you have bidding wars happening. And then 4 to 6 months of inventory is a balanced market. Well, we're at 5 months of inventory. We're smack dab in the middle of a perfectly balanced market, and it is a level playing field currently, okay? Sellers can't really get away with the outrageous pricing that they used to in the pandemic, but buyers can't throw out, insulting lowball offers and expect to win. You can throw the offers out, just don't necessarily expect to win if you do, right? They need to be strategized properly. You need to have, basically proper pricing and actual negotiation to get a deal done right now, okay? So let's see how that balanced market is playing out in the real world by looking at expired listings versus the closed to original price ratio. So we had 1,710 expired listings in April. That's down slightly, 2.3% to be specific, from 1,751 in March, but it's actually up 3.8% from April. So even though inventory is way down, we still have over 1,700 sellers who failed to sell their homes. Why did that happen? Well, because in a balanced market, buyers are not desperate. If your home is overpriced or it needs too much work for the asking price, or any number of factors that makes the house less desirable, they will just simply pass it by and your listing will eventually expire, okay? But for the sellers who price it right, they're the ones flexing in the next scenario here, in the closed price to original price ratio, sitting at an impressive 95.8%, up from 95.2% last month, and also up from the exact same 95.2% last April. Okay, closed price to original price ratio, that's just an average taken across the market of how much sellers are getting at as their sale price versus their list price. So if it was listed for $100,000 and it sold for $90,000, that's a 90% closed price to original price ratio, okay? So this is trending heavily in the seller's favor, okay? It means that if you list your home for, let's say, $600,000 and you price it correctly for the market conditions, you're walking away on average with about $574,800, okay? Buyers are negotiating, but sellers in Broward are managing to hold on to the vast majority of their equity at the closing table, okay? So now, let's get to the bottom line. And this is the most shocking data point of the entire report. Cumulative days on market. The median days on market saw a massive reduction, dropping 54 days in March to only 37 days in April, okay? That is a 31.5% increase in the speed of the market in just 1 month. Now, it's normal to see things speed up going into the spring selling season, but shaving 17 days off the market time in a single month is an absolute standout figure, okay? So compared to last April's 48 days on market, Broward single-family homes are selling 22.9% quicker year over year. And look at the median price as well. We hit $625,000. That's up $25,000 from $600,000 in March, a 4.2% jump in 1 month, and exactly dead even with last April, okay? And, we've essentially been stuck bouncing in this $600,000 to $625,000 range since February of 2024. People have been waiting for valuations to compress, for prices to drop, but we've been seeing supply reduce, so drastically, it's fully supporting these sale prices, okay? So honestly, there is simply enough buyer demand to basically eat up the limited inventory, plain and simple, okay? So let's wrap this up. What is the ultimate takeaway for Broward single-family homes in spring of 2026? Well, we have a perfectly balanced market, as I mentioned before, but it is a market that is suddenly moving very, very fast, okay? So if you're a buyer, you may need a wake-up call. The days of casually browsing for 2 months, seeing something that you liked last month and then, a month later, maybe you want to make an offer on it, those days are done, okay? Basically the market is, something, So if you're a buyer, you may need a wake-up call. The days of casually browsing for 2 months before making a decision on something that's in triple-digit days on market are over, okay? Inventory is down 23% from last year, and the homes that are on the market are selling 30% faster than they were just last month, okay? So the market is accelerating. If you find a home that fits your criteria, is priced well, and it matches your budget and everything that you need, then you need to write a strong offer immediately, okay? You still have negotiating power in a balanced market, but you don't have the luxury of, lollygagging around and waiting to see what else comes on the market. If you like it, it fits your budget, fits your monthly payments, has everything you need, and you like it enough to make an offer, make sure it's a decent offer, okay? Because you very well could lose out to somebody who comes in with a better offer, okay? Now, if you're a seller, you are in a phenomenal position if you play your cards right. You have less competition because inventory is constrained and buyers are moving quickly. But don't let this get to your head. The 1,700 expired listings this month prove that buyers will still reject overpriced homes. They have no problem doing that, okay? Because they still have enough inventory to choose from that they don't have to go for something that is overpriced, okay? So price your property at the actual market value. Make sure it shows perfectly as well as you possibly can. And the data proves that you will likely sell in just over a month while capturing nearly 96% of your asking price, okay? Navigating a fast-paced, balanced market definitely requires an expert on your side. Whether you're looking to buy your dream home or, before the inventory shrinks any further, especially, or if you want to maximize the equity on your sale of your property, reach out to me directly. I would love to hear from you. There's a link in my Calendly, link to my Calendly in the description down below, and you can set up a one-on-one call with me, and we'll work on your specific situation and build out a strategy for you personally. I work with all of my clients. This is not a, offload you to a junior member of my team situation. You will be working with me specifically and personally to, realize the best goals for your, real estate situation, okay? So Jake Fletcher here with the Fletcher Group at eXp Realty, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.